Hello everyone. There is plenty of videos and articles out there about the vehicles. There is a lot of vehicles in Cyberpunk and everyone has their own opinions regarding it. I want to give my opinion because I think mine will make it easier for people who are trying to decide what you want. So, my answer is there's two good vehicles in the game, and you're looking at both of them. The one to the left is the Javelina, and the one that I'm sitting in, which is this blue one, is the Coyote. What makes both of these vehicles so good is they're both pretty fast and have a reasonable cost associated with them. Let's go over each one individually, starting with the Coyote, which is this blue one. The Coyote is the second fastest vehicle in the game with a top speed of 199 miles per hour, 0 to 60 of 3 seconds. It's a small light vehicle, as you can see. It's actually a few inches shorter in both the front and sides than the Javelina. So that's probably where all of its acceleration comes from, is how tiny and light it is. Unfortunately, this tiny and light does come at a cost. This vehicle is 115,000 eddies and cannot take the beating that the Javelina can. So you do have to keep that in mind when selecting these vehicles. But there's one more vehicle that I will discuss. Let me just go grab it real quickly. It's kind of tight in here. While I'm doing that, I will discuss the Javelina. The Javelina is 10 miles per hour slower on the top speed than the Coyote. It sits at 189 miles per hour, and 0 to 60 is painfully slow. But the Javelina makes up for it with the armor plating. The Javelina can take quite a beating before it becomes a problem. Now, the third vehicle I'm going to show you is actually a free vehicle. This is something that doesn't cost anything. This is the Caliburn Free. It has either identical or exactly the same stats as the Caliburn that you would pay 157,000 A's for. So give me just a second. This is kind of hard for me to handle because I'm not used to it. But I want to show you just the differences in vehicle size, if I can get this thing to cooperate. There we go. Okay, so you can see that the Caliburn is a little bit larger than the Coyote. Not by too much, though. You can see that if it was bumper to bumper, which is kind of hard for me to do right now, it wouldn't be that far off from the Coyote. The major difference with this Caliburn, though, is while it is wicked fast, its handling on dirt is not as good as the Coyote or Javelin. The Coyote has better handling on the dirt than the Javelina, but they're kind of almost equal. Now let me just see if I can bring this up here so you can see a comparison of the Caliburn and Javelina. There you go. And you can see even the Caliburn, the free one, is shorter than the Javelina. So if you're looking for a race vehicle and you're not really worried about dirt roads, you can use the Caliburn. So I would say, in conclusion, your best bet is to pick either the Javelina or Coyote. And then you can just, because this is a free vehicle, you can have this as a backup race vehicle for that gig. Now, one thing also to keep in mind, in addition to the conclusion, is the tactics. You see, the Javelina is super tough, so you can use it as a, what do you call it, fortification. If you drive the Javelina up to, say, Assault in Progress, you can reasonably sit behind the Javelina for a few seconds to pick off some enemies before moving in. That's something to think about in comparison because the Coyote can't do that. You would you would get yourself blown up trying to do it with the Coyote. But one more thing too while I'm at it, not related to the vehicles, I did want to give a quick update to the builds I have while I'm in game. Originally, I was saying to use 20 technical ability on both builds that I provided, but now I'm starting to see through a test, which you can see is the test right here. This character is significantly lower level than my other one, but through tests I have noticed it's possible to do it on 18 technical ability versus 20. So the thing to keep in mind when going from 20 to 18 is you'll be missing out on cutting edge, which is 5% damage on both fronts. It's 5% raw damage and 5% on the rolled damage. So if you're playing with Buzzsaw, then you'd be rolling physical, so you get 5% more physical from that roll plus 5% raw damage. So technically 10% total is what I've noticed through trial and error. But when you do the math, 5% is really at the best 50 on each side, so about 100 damage in total. That means that this perk is really only worth it if you're trying to pair it with Superconductor, which is the other thing you would need 20 for. That's the tech weapons ignore armor. That's really the only reason that I would say is worth 20 tech now. What you're better off doing is, depending on which build of mine you're using, either Buzzsaw or the Katana build, you're better off spending the 2 attribute points into reflexes because with the Katana build, if you were to use 14 reflexes, you get access to Wild West, which would remove the damage penalty from pistols and revolvers, letting you use it basically like a sniper, giving you even more tools and flexibility to work with. If you're doing the Buzzsaw build, 16 would get you to Recoil Wrangler. You do get plenty of recoil reduction through the passives down here, but I mean 10% is 10%, so it kind of is nice to have. Plus you're getting the extra crit chance for doing the extra 2 reflexes. In short, you can change my builds from 20 reflex to 18, and then up the reflexes by the equal amount, so up it by 2. Anyways, that's all I have. Thanks for listening.